Hello students, let's start with exercise number 9, which says make the letter in the square bracket the subject. Question number 1 is ax plus by plus c is equal to 0 and the letter in the bracket is x, which means x has to be turned to the subject of formula. Now, we have already discussed earlier that when we change subject of formula, we go in the reverse order of BODMAS, which means we first cater to addition subtraction, or in other words, first we move terms to the other side, next we move to division and multiplication, and so on and so forth. In this question, we have terms. So, we will move the terms first. We have ax is equal to negative by and negative c on the right hand side. Now, the next comes multiplication of a with x. So, we can move the a to the other side. Minus by minus c and a divides on the right hand side. Since a multiplied on the left hand side, when it is transposed to the right hand side, it will divide. We can also remove the minus sign common out and write our answer as by plus c divided by a. Alright, let's try question number 10. Question number 10 is square root of x square plus a inside the bracket is equal to 2x, and again the letter which has to be the subject of formula is x. Now we have to make x the subject of formula, and we have x on the right hand side and we have x square under the square root sign on the left hand side. So first of all, we will get rid of the square root sign. We can do this by squaring both the sides. When we square both the sides, the square sign cancels the square root sign. Now on the left hand side, we have x squared plus a is equal to 4x squared, and we have to make x the subject of formula and x is on either side of the equal to sign. As you can see, x terms are on either side of the equal to sign. So we will take both the terms on any one side of the equal to sign. It doesn't matter if I take the x square from the left hand side and transpose it as minus x square on the right hand side, or if I take the 4x square from the right hand side and transpose it as minus 4x square on the left hand side. In any way, my answer will be the same. In order to have a positive x square and avoid one step, we will bring the smaller quantity of x square towards the bigger quantity. Now 4x square minus x square will give us 3x squared, and on the left hand side we have a. 3, which is being multiplied by x square, is divided when it comes to the left hand side, and now we have x squared is equal to a by 3. But we want x to be the subject of formula, so we have to square root both the sides. When we square root x square, we are left with x is equal to plus or minus square root of a by 3. Now, some of you may be wondering, why do we have plus or minus square root of 3 by t? Because whenever we have a square number, it has two roots. Let's check out a square number 9. When we square root 9, we get two roots. One is plus root 3 and the other is minus root 3. This is because minus 3 times minus 3 gives us 9, and also 3 times 3 gives us 9. That's the reason why we square root 9, we get a positive root and negative root. And the same applies to our answer in question number 10. Let's try another question. Question number 11. We have square root of b into m square plus a, b into m square plus a divided by e is equal to t. Alright, so in this question, the letter that has to be the subject of formula is to be m. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is to get rid of the square root sign. We can do this by squaring both the sides. So I square the left hand side and the right hand side. What follows that is the square and the square root sign cancel each other. So now I am left with b into m square plus a divided by e is equal to t square. Now since m has to be the subject of formula, I have to slowly move all the elements from the side where m is to the other side. Now I should first try and understand what are the different elements which are on the left hand side. I have a division here, I have a multiplication here, and I have a bracket here. Now, going in the reverse order of BODMAS, we see that division and multiplication come first and bracket comes last. We are not looking into addition and subtraction as right now we don't have any term. Okay, so first we can move either the division or multiplication, because division and multiplication in BODMAS have no priority each other, just like addition and subtraction in BODMAS have no priority each other. So we can move the denominator to the other side, and now we have e times t square. Next we can move the multiplication to the other side, so we have m squared a is equal to e times t squared divided by b. So by moving the e, we took care of the division, and the division went to the other side and it became multiplication. Then the multiplication went to the other side and became division. Now looking back at this part of the question, we are left with two terms. So again, we have got a term which is a. So a can move to the other side. We will have m square is equal to e t square divided by b minus a. Alright, so we have got m square, but our subject of formula has to be m. So we still need to go one step ahead, square root both the left hand side and the right hand side in order to get rid of the square. And as we already know, the square sign cancels the square root sign. Now we are left with m is equal to positive or negative square root of e t square minus a upon b. Now, in some cases, you will find this as the final answer. However, your answer may also be written as a common denominator. So, noticing the fact that a is actually a divided by 1, and if we have to write this as a common denominator, we can multiply top and bottom by b to find the LCM. We can rewrite et square minus ab upon b. So both answers are correct. Sometimes you may find this as your final answer, and sometimes you may find the answer with a common denominator. Alright, so let's do one more question. Question number 23. We have square root of z minus ax is equal to t. In this question, we have to make a the subject of formula, which means a has to be alone on one side. First thing, getting rid of the square root, we square both the sides, and we know that the square sign and the square root sign cancel each other. So on the left hand side, we are left with z minus ax is equal to t square. Since the term containing a has to be the subject of formula, I will move the whole term to the other side, and I have z minus t square is equal to ax. So what I have done here is to make the term containing a positive, I have moved it to the other side and it became positive. And the term which was t square, I moved it to the other side and it became negative. Alright, so now I'm almost there, and I just need to make a the subject by moving the x onto the other side. So since x is multiplied, it will divide on this side, and I'm left with a as the subject of formula. I can rewrite my answer as a is equal to z minus t square divided by x.